got your next target. Thought I'd hand deliver it. Maybe you'd like a shot at the man responsible for your sister's death.
What is up, my fellow quirky people? Marvel just gave us a very Christmassy Hawkeye trailer, and that's what we're going to talk about today. It was pretty upbeat and carried a surprisingly comedic tone through and through. But things seemed quite straightforward in this teaser, as there weren't a whole lot of questions that were raised. Quite a few characters showed up besides Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. We got to know where Clint's family is. Lucky the pizza dog had a split-second scene. Vera Farmiga was seen playing Kate Bishop's mother, Eleanor Bishop. And even Alaqua Cox appeared as Maya Lopez, aka Echo. But there were quite a few characters who did not appear. For instance, Laura Barton wasn't seen with her family. She was at home while the kids were taking a vacation with their father. We know that Yelena Belova is going to show up in the series, but even she was nowhere to be found. And as far as the villain of the show is concerned, we don't know who that really is. So far, the Disney Plus shows have been quite notorious in revealing their main characters. WandaVision took 7 episodes to reveal its main antagonist, while The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki took these revelations to their finale events. So, we could expect the Hawkeye series to take a while before revealing its big bad as well. But knowing what has been revealed and rumored so far, we've got a few candidates who could fit the bill. Before we look at the possible bad guys of Hawkeye, it would be nice if you guys would hit the subscribe button. And do press the bell icon so you don't miss out on our future videos. Okay now, without any further ado, let's look at the possible antagonist, or maybe multiple antagonists that we're going to see in Hawkeye. First up we have Yelena Belova. We knew that Yelena was going to show up in Hawkeye way before Black Widow even came out. But towards the end of her MCU debut, we saw Val recruiting her to go up against Clint Barton. Somehow, Val came across the notion that Clint was responsible for the death of Natasha Romanoff. We all know that this isn't true. Clint tried to save Nat and give his own life instead. But since he was the one who survived, Val is using the fact to manipulate Yelena. Now she's going after Barton at least for a short while. But I'm pretty sure that while she might come in as a primary antagonist, she would get to the truth of what really happened. And so, she won't be the one that kills Hawkeye. They might fight each other, but she'd eventually join Team Hawkeye instead. So, she is out of the villain question. Echo. We don't really know about the story arc of Maya Lopez in the series. In the comics, she started as a villain, but soon came to be the hero known as Echo. She is a deaf character who has a Taskmaster-like ability that allows her to mimic the moves of the one she fights. Her deafness will probably be retained in the MCU as well, but I'm not too sure about the photographic reflexes ability. Anyway, she might come in as someone that opposes Hawkeye at the beginning, just like Yelena Belova. Her reason to go after him might be linked to his past as Ronin. Maybe Maya Lopez is also a part of the same guild that Clint Barton was as Ronin. And because Barton left the guild, she could be coming after him. But obviously, she won't be Barton's enemy for long, because she also has her own series coming on Disney Plus. Just like Kate Bishop will take on the mantle of Hawkeye, Maya Lopez might take on Barton's Ronin mantle. So clearly, she isn't going to be the villain. That brings us to our next candidate, the Tracksuit Mafia. Throughout the trailer, we see Clint Barton and Kate Bishop fighting a bunch of bad guys in tracksuits. These are the Tracksuit Mafia, or the Tracksuit Draculas as you might know them by. Clint Barton made quite a few enemies during his vigilante days as Ronin. And among his enemies could be the Tracksuit Mafia, who were probably riled up when Kate Bishop took Ronin's identity. That's why they came after her, and are now running after Clint Barton as well. They're obviously the villains here, but I'm pretty sure that they won't be the main bad guys. Someone could be pulling their strings, and there's a chance that it might be Swordsman. Actor Tony Dalton has been cast as Jack Duquesne, aka Swordsman. Duquesne is the one who trained Clint Barton before he became Hawkeye, so it will be interesting to see how he comes into play. He will obviously be a part of Clint Barton's past, but maybe he has some old grudge over his student. That's why he might be ordering the Tracksuit Draculas to go after Clint, and now Kate as well. But I actually think that he might end up helping Clint in one way or another. I think that the real bad guy is not going to be a guy at all. It will be a woman. It will be Vera Farmiga's Eleanor Bishop. In the comics, Eleanor Bishop was initially thought to be deceased. She later turned out to be alive when she returned as the villainous Madame Mask. But since the trailer already shows her, I think that Kate Bishop probably won't think of her to be dead. Instead, she might have ran from her home to probably get away from her mother. And now, Eleanor will be after her daughter, and she should be revealed as Madame Mask as we move towards episode 6 or 7. Her connection to Kate Bishop will obviously make the narrative feel personal, so we want this bit to come true. But she may not be the only villain in the show. There are 1 or 2 others who will appear. The first of them is Clown. Actor Fra Free has been brought in as the villain Kazi, aka Clown. We don't know how big of a role he will play in the show, but he may be associated with Madame Mask. Or he could be set up as a villain for the future project that his series will set up. Another character who should be set up as a future villain by Hawkeye is none other than Wilson Fisk. Whenever there's trouble around New York, the Kingpin has to be around. It's actually quite surprising that Marvel managed to keep him underground for so long.
You ever heard the name Wilson Fisk?
No. Who's that?
Just a name somebody gave me, but there's no public record. Nothing on the internet, not one mention of Fisk.
But rumors suggest that we will see Vincent D'Onofrio reprising his role as Wilson Fisk in the latter half of Hawkeye. Well, I'd say that this rumor would make sense, because he could be set up as the villain for the future Echo series on Disney+. And since Matt Murdock is also set to arrive in Spider-Man No Way Home, we'd like to see Wilson Fisk appear in the MCU as well. Okay, that's all we know about the villains of Hawkeye. The conclusion is that Eleanor Bishop should be the main villain of the show. So let's see if that turns out to be true. Which of them do you think will be the main antagonist? Let us know. Give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to check out some more fun content on our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.